Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast, Love Selfishly. In it, we discuss personal stories about our self love journey, relationships, and self development to live a balanced, selfish life. I'm your host, Sasha. Today, I want to talk about narcissistic abuse in relationships and how it can affect you mentally and emotionally, and what are the signs and what to recognize the patterns. So, my last two relationships were toxic and abusive. They were both physical and emotionally abusive. And in my last relationship was my marriage. And when I finally decided to leave my ex husband, I knew that, or I had an idea that I might have been in a narcissistic relationship, but after leaving, I can confirm that I was in a narcissistic abusive relationship. And I can say that being with someone with narcissistic traits or someone that is diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder is suffocating. It is draining, and it will exaggerate. Whoa, wait, it will exhaust. You will get exhausted, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's mentally draining, mentally exhausting um, to be in that kind of relationship. And I want to share my experience of the signs. I started to notice how it affected me and how I'm doing now. So I want to go ahead and start by defining narcissistic abuse. Um, from Talkspace, they defined it as is a form of emotional abuse by someone who shows narcissistic traits or narcissistic personality disorder. There's a difference between narcissistic abuse and emotional abuse. Narcissistic abuse is more of a pattern to stay in power and control of the abusee, while emotional abuse, there isn't a pattern and they're not seeking empowerment. Okay? And so those are the difference between narcissistic abuse and emotional abuse. They can be very similar, but after this episode, you will be able to identify and know the difference if you're in a narcissistic abusive relationship. So, how does it start? It starts off by them being charming and charismatic, telling you what you want to hear, sending you good morning text messages every day, and saying how beautiful you are and you're the best thing that has ever happened to them. And also just telling you have a wonderful, great day. They can also shower you with gifts and flowers. But just, you won't notice that in the beginning. You won't think that it's weird, but like it can get, I don't know how to explain it, but it can be like you won't even notice it that like they're just showering you with love. They treat you like a fucking princess. And then with all this affection and all this uh, charming talk and their charismatic personality, you get comfortable and you get vulnerable, and that leads you to trusting them. But this is all an act just so they can get to you. This is love bombing. They will make you feel like you're in cloud nine for sure. And it will just feel like you literally find the love of your life, your forever partner. When my ex husband and I started dating, he would send me good morning text messages every day with a bunch of like emojis, and I would send them right back too, because like I was feeding off that same energy. Like I was loving it. And I didn't think of it any, like back then, like I didn't think of it weird or anything like that. I just honestly thought it was really sweet and thoughtful. Because like normally, I guess what a normal person would do, they send you like a good morning text with cute emojis and they tell you hope you have a good day. This is like, good morning, beautiful. I hope you have a wonderful day, with more hearts emojis and face emoji. And I can't wait to see you. Like, oh, that pouring, lovey gushy that you don't normally get when you first communicate with someone, right? And then because I was feeling the affection, the love that I've never got in any of my past relationship, he started to, share some personal stories about himself and his past relationship. And I went ahead and did the same. Something personal, something sensitive about me and childhood and my also past relationship, especially um, my previous toxic, abusive relationship. Looking back, I didn't realize that we were trauma bonding because, like, I felt like I got closer to him because I felt like he understood. Like, okay, we have both understanding. Like, we both went through this traumatic thing, and there's a connection there. And then also, when I'm sharing my personal stories to him, his facial expression didn't look like any normal person that will be actively listening. Um, it was like there wasn't like any, like nonverbal cues that he could, that he was understanding and that he can empathize with me. It was more of an expression of observing me, studying me, and like I don't know, like I can see the image of like where he's just like a little smirk, a little smile on his face because I'm just feeding him all this information. I'm pouring it all out to him. That was my biggest mistake. because he eventually used my vulnerability against me. And that is just so mentally and emotionally fucked up because why? Why would you do that? And then I would say like the whole love bombing, honeymoon phase, cloud nine lasted for a good 6, maybe 4 months, maybe 4 months. Because he slowly started to switch up on me. And I, with my disorganized, anxious, avoidant detachment style, came right up because I just felt like I was losing him. And all I can think about, okay, how can I fix this? Whew, yeah. And so like here I am like trying to save this relationship and trying to show him that like I'm here for him, I love him, and that I guess in the back of my mind subconsciously like I just want that returned to me. And also just thinking back, like I think that it was just his way trying to end the relationship without him really saying he want to end the relationship. And then there was one point like he tried that he did. He said he was done and over, but I was just like, how can you say it's done and over if you don't talk and communicate? Yeah, like I was just yeah. Anyways, um, yeah, like that love bombing was slowly starting to fade away, and me fighting for us, I was also being gaslighted, and my boundaries were being tested. To note, I never knew how to set boundaries, and I was too afraid to follow through with my boundaries because I did not want to push him away or push him away or feel like I'm being difficult. And so I've been being in that marriage with my ex-husband, like I can identify when I'm being gaslighted. And it pisses me off so much that I will just stop talking and just walk away. And that will be the last time we will ever have a conversation because you're just testing or insulting my intelligence. It's triggering. And it also showed that you don't care or you lack of compassion, empathy, and can't take accountability. I will just, I will literally walk away and not talk to you again because just don't. And so, narcissistic gaslighting is a definition that I also got from Talkspace. And they explained that this emotional manipulative or manipulation tactic known as narcissistic gaslighting is designed to make you doubt yourself These narcissistic tendency can make you more vulnerable to future narcissistic behavior and psychological abuse. So gaslighting is basically someone is doubting yourself, trying to question the reality, what really happened. Like for example, I'm laughing because like I'm gonna like use a scenario of like my brother. Um, so like he bought croissants, and I don't know, like I was going on a carb Benji eating because the croissants are so good to me. And so I I started eating like a lot. I think I had like 4 or 6. Okay, don't judge me. And then my brother was like, I was like, yo, Hakeem, like you've been eating a lot of croissants lately. I was like kind of like gaslighting him. He was like, no, I haven't. Like, I mean, I'm not eating a bunch of it. Like I'm denying that I'm not the one, and I'm twisting it to make him think that he is. So throughout the whole day, he's been walking back and forth from the kitchen to his bedroom and is looking at the croissants. And he told me like in his head, he was like, I could have sworn that I only had two. How could there just be only this many left? I forgot how much it comes in the box, but like this many left, and like going back and forth. And like I finally asked him like, what is wrong with you? And he was like, I could have sworn I only ate two. And then, I guess I felt guilty. And I was like, no, like I was eating most of it. And yeah, it was funny. So that's gaslighting. Like this is me denying like what he thought it is true, like what he know, the information that he knows and that he remember. I'm just denying it that no, that didn't happen. That it was all you. So that take that with narcissistic, and it is mind fucking. It will make you question your whole existence. Like, what? Did I really mean it this way? Did I say it this way? But this is not what I meant. Am I the problem? I am the problem. And so, yeah, that's what gaslighting is with a narcissistic uh, person that has the traits or is diagnosed. And with that, they will continue to cross that boundaries that you have or trying to establish for the both of you, for the sake of the relationship, right? And it doesn't have to be just like what you said and what you established, but like invading your privacy, trying to like read your text messages, trying to eavesdrop the conversation that you're having with your friends or family member. um they would not want to leave you alone. They'll literally just test you. I remember that like one of my friends, she wanted to like go out to a bar, just her and I think maybe a couple of her friends. But it was getting later and later, like at 11 p.m. And I wanted to go, but that look that he gave me, that like, are you gonna go? I'm testing you if you're gonna say yes or no. Give me a reason to go off of you, go off on you when you come back. And a couple of days later, and I'm just gonna bring this up. I turned it out. I said no, because like I was feeling the pressure. I was literally feeling the pressure. So not being able to be alone, not to be my own person, to take a break from being a mom and taking care of the home, I couldn't do that. I also felt guilty. And so it is very, very important to set a boundaries with them and follow through with those boundaries, especially if like in my situation, I had to continue somewhat relationship with him due to our child. And I have to learn in a hard way not to fall into his traps of saying things that isn't really true. And also, whew, like we are just fighting that, like, you cannot do this. And then him saying, like, yes, I can, kind of thing. And so that just leads also to the next topic of projecting. And you will, if you are in a relationship, you may notice or experience a lot of projecting that they will put on you. And how I defined it is basically someone that can't handle or don't want to take accountability for their actions, for their bad behavior, flipping that around and trying to put it on you so they can be the victim because they can't handle not being perfect. They can't handle feeling shame. They can't handle feeling guilt. They can't, they need to take that off of them. Like it's like a little, it just makes their skin crawl. And so, what's the best way to get rid of that icky feeling is to reverse that and putting on to you. And also, they will also project their own guilt, their own trauma, their own insecurities onto you too. And then that just makes you want to doubt yourself again. Like, did I ever said this? This information, whatever this person's saying, does not pertain to me. This I have no knowledge or recognition of this ever happening. And that's what I experienced when with his traits of narcissism, that there was a lot of projecting, especially after I left the marriage. Uh, just a lot of things that sounded so similar to his story, but twisting it to make it mine. And then like during our relationship, he would accuse me of a lot of things, like cheating is one of them. And I don't even know how often that I've been accused of cheating, because he would bring it up all the time. And like in the beginning and then like during the whole marriage, I'm like with this dude 24/7. Even during COVID, I was home. And then when I was working from home at my previous job, I was home. I was home 7 days a week. And I slowly, because of these accusations, I stopped like hanging out with my friends. I started isolating myself because like I didn't want to come home to an argument. Like it gotten so bad that like in my first trimester, like when I go out and see and talk to my friend, he would accuse me of cheating. Or like, every pregnancy is different. So like for me, like I was not in that freaky mood. I was not in that sexy mood. Like I had like a whole human being growing inside of me, and it was taking all of my energy, all of my blood down to my uterus. I was not having it. And it couldn't be that. It couldn't be that like my hormones and me, the appetites, the sex drive that I have before, it could not be that the reason why I'm not giving it up to him. I have to be cheating. Oh Lord, the projection. Him wanting come home with the argument saying he wanted a divorce, leave the home for 24 hours, come back home, argue with me, wash the evidence away, the next day change his mind. That's not what he meant. Gaslighting and projecting. And of course, I'll be like, okay, I understand. Let's just work it out. Let's talk it out. Yeah, let's work it out. We can get through this. 3 times. This fool asked for a divorce 3 times and never followed through with it. And when I finally had enough, the fourth time, when I went on the cruise, I'm ranting a little bit. When I went on the cruise and he make up some argument that I unfollow him on Instagram, block me because we were sharing location. He blocked me so I won't know where he was at. And as a Haitian, I get dreams, I get visions in my dreams, yo, that always come true. And he confessed where he was at and who he was with. And I put those two and two together. Anyway, that is not right. The reason why I asked for a divorce is just that, like, also fear, like, okay, like, this is the fourth time he done this. I'm just gonna say it. I want a divorce. I'm done. I am done with the, the manipulative tactics that he is using against me, and I am tired of the emotional abuse that he is putting me through. I was done. I was done. I emotionally checked out. I emotionally checked out a long time ago, and I try to work it out for the sake of our daughter, but I was dying inside and the outside. It didn't even recognize who I was anymore. So that's my rant. Um, so projecting. So like it's, and then another thing is that like he would question my motherhood, like how I'm a bad mother and I'm tearing this mother, tearing the family apart and using her in this divorce process. When reality, that's what he's doing, and he knows it, and they know it. They do know it, but they can't handle again. They can't handle the shame, the guilt. They don't want to take accountability because they are just perfect. And so luckily I had good friends that reminds me that I'm doing a good job, that I'm doing the best that I can, that I am working on myself. Um, and that definitely helped ease my anxiety, my thought process, like my mind racing and everything like that. And then in a narcissistic relationship, they create this atmosphere of walking on eggshell. You just never know what you're going to get. Are they going to be in a good mood today? Are they in a bad mood? Are they going to be affectionate? Are they going to withhold that affection from me to punish me for whatever it is, for whatever reason? Okay, if they're in a good mood, how long will it last until something switch? And I don't know, but like I can tell like it's just something that just switch. I've seen it before, and it's just like there's light in their eyes, and then after that it's just turned off. Like it's just dark, like something like in their brain just freaking switched. And now they're this whole different person. And oh my gosh, like I would have to walk on eggshell. Like I couldn't be myself. I couldn't joke with him because like then it will be like, oh, you're trying to start something, trying to make an argument. I'm like, no, dude, I just want to freaking play with you. I want to laugh with you. I want to connect with you. Um, yeah, and then like, and then when we get to arguments and to fights, remember in the beginning of the show, like I talked about like how I share something so vulnerable, something so sensitive. He would use that in the argument is to bring me down, to crush my soul, to crush my self esteem. And it would hurt like that. That hurts because it's just like, why do you want to hurt me so bad? What did I do? And then the craziest thing I always ask, like, hey, like, what can I do to, you know, make you feel to make this relationship work? Like, is there anything that I need to work on or stuff like that? And the response is always say no, 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 no. But yet you wanna hurt me because you're hurting. Gotcha. Um, yeah, so those are just some of the signs to look out for if you are if or if you know someone in a narcissistic abusive relationship. Um, someone asked me if my ex-husband ever loved me in the beginning, and sometimes like I would have thoughts like yeah, like I mean, it was great in the beginning, but then again, in the beginning is what they want you to think that that's who they are, just to get you open up those doors for them just to sabotage and take advantage of you. And I also learned that someone that shows narcissistic traits or NPD, they're not capable of loving. They can't, they don't know what love is, what it feels like. They have an idea. Again, like the relationship is transactional. So, like, if you do something for them, then they do something for you. It's transactional. It has to be physical, nothing emotional. So, I guess my answer to that, no, no, never did. Um, I mean, which is a bummer. I it took me a long time to accept that and to heal from it because I was grieving so much, not because of him, but the marriage. I thought I had a real marriage. I thought I had someone that actually loved me and cared about me. And I thought that if I just work as hard, if I just show them this is like I'm here, I love them, then maybe they would see that and give me what I deserved, which was love, to be cared, to be respected. I left the marriage in 2022. Um, it took me the beginning of 2024 to finally accept that, yeah, like none of it was real. They're not capable of loving. Everything was a lie. The future that we talked about was a lie. It took me 2 years that, it wasn't me. I wasn't really the problem. I was just a supply, a source of energy that they can feed off of to make them feel good about themselves, to get the edge of not feeling whatever emotions they're feeling: shame, guilt, sadness, anger, resentment. It took me 2 years to build up my confidence up, my self esteem. It took me 2 years to figure out who I am as an individual beside just a mother. It took me 2 years to finally realize that my happiness doesn't come from outside source, it comes from within. It took me 2 years to know that, or to find out, to feel homesome, to feel whole again, to feel alive. It starts with me and it's going to end with me. It took me 2 years to finally realize that no one can help me fill in this void, this emptiness, but me, and that I need to heal from my own traumas, my childhood trauma, and to know that I don't need a man to be happy. And even though it is great to have someone to add on to what I already have achieved and accomplished, I don't necessarily need them. And that took a lot of therapy, a lot of journaling, a lot of reflecting, self healing. In the healing process, you start to isolate yourself, not on purpose or anything like that, but just it's this part of it where you just need to like sit back, reflect on everything, and be like, okay, like, why does this happen, and why I keep repeating the same patterns? What am I missing? And to finally to understand who you are. And also going to the gym has helped me a lot. It teaches me that I need to work on myself, to prioritize my needs, and I'm still working on it. Like, I've been so used to putting others before me that it's a challenge for me still to to take care of myself. Um, and I had great support system. I had great friends, and that has helped me through the tough times and helped me to remind myself that I am doing good. They see the work that I'm putting in, the effort that I'm doing, going back to school and seeing that I'm just trying to better my life for me and my daughter. And so little, like I started to feel like myself again. So if you know someone that is going through what I did, I ask to be patient. Um, Let them know that you're here for them. If you need to watch from a distance, then do so. Just lend a hand whenever they reach out and whenever they're ready. And if you have experienced this, then you're not alone. You're not alone. And I also highly recommend to reach out someone that you can confide in, that you can trust, um, and that also want the very best interest for you. All right, well, that is it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it, learned from it, and hopefully that you can now identify and know the signs to look out for. And um, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next episode on Love Selfishly. Bye.